Yo yo, welcome back to Duty's Daggers. It is time for an unboxing, but it is not a knife. It is a knife related thing that we're going to have to install. Let's get right into it. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Look down there, make sure that you are. And my Instagram is duties_daggers. Follow me over there as well. So we got some scales in here from AWT for the Manix 2. It's been a long time coming. I tried to replace these scales once with some titanium ones from Rock Scale Designs, and they didn't work. There was a big issue with the scales, and I returned them. And that kind of put a bad taste in my mouth for replacing scales on this Manix for a little while. I kind of just decided would just live with the G10 for a little bit. And then recently I decided, all right, well, it's time. Number one, I want to get this knife centered. I haven't been able to do it with the G10 scales, and supposedly AWT takes care of that. Should center it perfectly up. And you know, I keep hearing really good things about AWT. You know, I have tried AWT scales once before on my Gratillion, but they were like full thickness, big scales. These are different. These are liner delete scales, meaning it's going to eliminate this liner completely. It's going to cut down on the weight. It's going to kind of, you know, it's a little bit of a different profile than the handle already, than the stock handle. Man, those look good. I didn't know they had a little bit of texture. That's amazing. That looks really nice. So I got blue because my hardware here is already blue. This is a titanium, blue anodized titanium ball cage lock and lanyard tube from Flytanium. This tube is not going to work with these scales though, so it'll just be the ball cage lock that's blue. They're a little bit of a brighter blue than they look to be on the website. To be honest with you, I thought it'd be like a little bit more of a muted blue, but yeah, whatever. That's fine. I like blue. All right, so we're gonna put these babies on, man. We're gonna freaking do it right now. I have taken apart the Manix a couple times now, so we should not have that much issue. I hope. Historically on the channel, we don't do great with unboxings, or with you know, scale replacements and disassemblies. But I think since I have done this knife a few times already, I should know how to do it. I went back and watched one of my older disassembly videos on the Manix just to give myself a little refresher, and I'm pretty sure I've got it. So let's freaking get into it. Oopsie. So there was a lot of different colors, obviously. There's different coatings. You can get a Cerakote or an anodize. I got a Type 2 anodization. I heard that... oh, those are T8s. Cool. The Type 3 is the hardest, most durable type of coating. I got the Type 2 because I think a little bit of wear actually looks good with these types of coatings or anodizings. So that's what I did. I went with the Type 2. With the Type 3, there's only like you know, there's only certain colors they can actually use. They can only do with the Type 3. So it does limit your color choices a little bit. So there's that. I recently picked up these Snap-on T10 and T8 drivers. I thought it'd be kind of cool, since those are kind of the sizes I use most. It'd be kind of cool to have just, you know, not an interchangeable bit, just a dedicated driver. This is my first time really using them, so yeah, let's try them out. Pivot's T10. Now I believe with this knife, I think we just go for it. I don't think there's a specific side that we start with. I think we just freaking go for it. Now the main thing that we need to, that's going to save our lives here is the order of operations on how this comes apart, or how it goes back together. There's a specific way you put this back together, and you need to do it that way for everything to go back how it should. So keep that in mind. Pop our G10 scale off. Pop our liner off. There's our washer. That is not going to even fit, so we don't need that anymore. I'll save that for another Spyderco. It's the same lanyard tube size as PM2s and Para 3s, so that'll get used eventually. So here we can see the ball cage lock and how it works. There's our coil spring. Now, from what I remember, this blade might just pop right off. Let's see. I can't remember. Actually, I don't think it will. I think what we need to do is unscrew. So these two screws here are holding on this. Is basically a large stop pin because it serves as the stop pin. It's also the mechanism that this ball cage kind of braces itself against to give itself tension. So once that's loose, this lock is going to become loose. So I believe we are going to... Let's take the spring out first. I think that's what we're going to do. So what I have done in the past is, let's see, what can I use? I can use my my fat peepee. Just kind of a little skinny something to stick in between one of those coil springs and kind of fish it out. Let's see if I can do it. I don't know if that's gonna work. That might not work. You know what? I'm just gonna take these, pop these screws out here. Screw it. There we go. Now it's all loose. So there we can see. Now that's loose. The ball cage can come out. This should pop out. There we go. Now we're completely free. So the pivot here is a free spinning pivot. You can see it has a flat side on it right there. That coincides with the flat spot on the liner there. So I'm assuming one of these scales is going to have a flat spot. Yep, there it is right there. So let's pop this off this side of the pivot. T10. There's our washer, our liner. We don't need any of that anymore. Just need our washers. That's kind of crazy. We're getting rid of all these. All this stuff just going away. It's so weird. All right, let's get our scale. Crazy. Let's put our, okay, which side of the pivot goes in there? That side. So there's a little shelf right here. You can't put this on and then put the washer over that. You need to put this on. See how there's a little shelf that prevents that washer from slipping over that? So make sure that you do it like that and then put your screw in. but we're going to use a little bit of lube. Actually, you know what? While I have these out, I might as well polish up my washers. Let's do that. Get our strap. Give him a quick little polish. Hasn't been done on this knife before. This helps smoothen out the action. Don't need much. See, they're nice and shiny. Let's do that with the other one. There we go. Make sure you wipe those off very well because you don't want any of that compound left on it. That's the opposite of what we want. Use a Q-tip, make sure you kind of clean this inside edge a little bit just to be sure. You don't want any of that stropping compound left on there. All right, there we go. Let's get our lube. Let's put a little drop. I'll do 2 drops. Smear it around a little bit. Let's get our pivot. Actually, we can drop our washer down first. And then drop our pivot down. We can hold that with our finger while we put the hardware in. That's not the right screw. That's a body screw. Come on now, Kev. That's the right one. You're not going to be able to really get that tight yet, so that's okay. But don't worry, it'll tighten up once we get the other side on. So now we need to put our blade on. Now this is the part where you need to make sure you do this in the correct order. You might be tempted to put this back on and the ball cage back on first, but the blade has to go first. The blade must go on first. So let's do it. Drop a lube, drop a lube. Drop the, actually, put a drop of lube right there too. Drop it on. All right. Now, there's our ball. This is a ceramic ball. It comes with the stainless steel ball, but you can order a ceramic one from Flytanium, and apparently that improves the action. And I believe it has, in fact, done that. So now we can slide this in. This part can be a little bit difficult. Because you need to kind of push up on it in order for the holes to line up. But you can kind of push up and then pinch it pretty tight with this finger while you flip it over and see if you can get your screw in. Just loosely. We'll tighten it up later. Oops. Needs to go down. There we go. Yeah, you might have to pull down on that a little bit. See how it kind of clicked in. There we go. We're going to tighten that down more. But for now, we're good. So that's the hardest part. And now we're kind of free and clear now at this point. That was the thing. That was the part that took me a while. First couple times taking this apart. So, a couple drops. Let's put our other washer on. Now we do need to make sure that our flat spots are going to line up. See, our flat spot is on the downside, this side. So I'm going to have to spin that a little bit, spin that pivot to where that's going to be facing down. There we go. Did I put lube on it? Yeah, I did. Let's put our washer on. And a couple more drops. 1 drop, 2 drops. And our scale. Is there nothing? Is this spacer supposed to go back here? I'm assuming so. I mean, okay, all right. I guess that spacer does go back there. So that makes sense, because the lanyard tube is kind of what holds everything together on the back end of the knife. So let's take that out. You probably need to actually put that in first. Yeah, that's got to be it. Yep, fits right in there. So let's put this in. Just spinning. There we go. All right. Now we should be able to do this. Okay. It's coming together, and it went actually pretty smoothly. Actually, pretty smoothly, I think. Tighten everything up. I kind of like to back these out and then tighten them back down again, because since it's under tension, you want to make sure that it's kind of, you know, centered and where it needs to be. Tighten these back up. Since everything's T8, you don't have to worry about stripping anything out. Okay, that is real stiff. Let's loosen this up a little bit. Still quite stiff. We're still off center. Gosh, that sucks. I thought AWT guaranteed that you would be centered up with their scales. That's what I heard. That kind of sucks. Everything's together correctly. Oh well, it's not the worst of things. I've lived with it for this long. Still a little stiff. blade play. Quite stiff. Quite stiff. Feels nice in the hand. I don't know what's going on here. I feel like I'm loosening it way, way too much. It should not be that stiff, I don't think. Everything's together correctly. All the spacing up here looks fine. Maybe it needs to break in. What if I loosen these up a little bit? Oh. Those might have been cranked down a little too much. There we go. There we go. Little blade play now. Still off center though. Yeah, that kind of sucks. I must just have one of the few Manixes that freaking, you know, what's causing it to be off center is somewhere down in the tang here. A slight bend or whatever it is. Because now we know it's not the liners. You know. Whatever, that's fine. Let's put the clip on. This is feeling real nice. It's our AWT clip. Or no, sorry. MXG, rather. MXG clip. I wonder if these screws are going to be too long now. Let's see. Nope, doesn't look like it. Look, he's outside the door whining. Yo, Papa, we gotta go for our walk. What are you doing? What the hell are you doing in there? Almost done, buddy. It's always kind of an awkward screw to get in. You can't really get like straight down on it. You almost have to start it at an angle. Come on, please. We're so close to being done. I feel like I'm cross-threading it. Crap. course, it went so smoothly we'd have to run into an issue right at the end, right? Wouldn't be a true Duty's Daggers assembly if it went completely smoothly. What the fuck is happening? Why? Why must you hate me so? What have I done to deserve this? There we go. Gosh. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're freaking good, dude. Relax. There we go. All right. Bam! There she is. It's a bright blue. I wish it was a little bit more of a darker, earthier blue. To be honest with you, but it's fine. It's fine. It's real comfortable. You know, you can see that it does change. It does change the grip a little bit. We have a little less of an aggressive dip right there, less aggressive hump right here. You know, the other thing is you kind of lose a lot of the jimping. All the jimping was really on the liners. We got all that right there. We had a bunch down here, inside the choil on both of these little choils here. They give you a little bit kind of on the scale there, right in there, and up here. Doesn't provide much grip, but at least they tried. But you know, I'm not a huge jimping guy. I really don't, you know, especially on this kind of knife where it's already such a locked in feeling knife because of all these finger choils and grooves and everything. It really doesn't need jimping. You don't need jimping to keep your hand where it is. It already is going to stay there. So I am perfectly fine with that. It feels good, man. It really does feel good. You know, it kind of thins it out a little bit. Very, very minimal blade play and super drop shut. That's mostly thanks to the ceramic ball in here. Once I put that in and broke it in for a couple weeks, it became extremely smooth. Wish that it had centered up, but it is what it is. It wasn't centered before, so it's not like the scales made it worse or anything like that. Overall, pretty happy, man. They went on easy. And they look nice, man. They look really nice. These are about $85. A lot of different colors to choose from. Like I said, you can get a Cerakote or an anodizing type 2 or 3. I went with the type 2. These should wear in nicely, you know. I think anodizing on aluminum looks nice when you wear it in. Kind of, you know, you can get little scuffs and you kind of see the raw aluminum down underneath there, and I just think it looks nice. So my 15V Manix finally has proper clothing. That's it. Thanks for watching, dudes. Hope that was helpful if you're trying to take apart your Manix 2, or if you just want to see how these AWT scales look on the knife. There you go. With the MXG clip, the blue titanium ball cage lock from Flightanium. There you go. Love you guys. Please like the video before you bounce. I'd appreciate it. And I'll see you next time. What's happening, dudes? So it's the day after my installation of these AWT Manix 2 scales. I like them a lot. Couple little nitpicks. The ball cage is a little bit rattly. With the liners on and the stock scales, it kept them much more secure in there. It was something I noticed when I had got these liner delete rock scale design titanium scales for this knife. It was much more significant on that one, but that was the reason I returned it. It was because I couldn't handle the rattle. This is not as bad, but it's still there. So, kind of little, I wish it was more solid feeling in there, but it doesn't affect the lockup or anything. It's rattly. It kind of bugs me. Another thing is we're off center. Now, AWT has been running these ads where they're saying, if your knife is off center, AWT scales is the cure. It gets rid of the liners, which is often the cause of an off center blade, and therefore they're saying this is the fix. So I was expecting when I put these on to have a nice, perfectly centered blade. Not the case. Didn't make it worse, didn't make it better. This is exactly how it was with the stock liners and G10 on. So, I don't know, a little disappointing. I am going to take it apart right now and switch my washers, left and right. Switch them opposite sides and see if that may be it. Because it's either the washers or something's bent in the tang. That's the only things it could be right now, right? It's not the liners, it's not the scales. It's got to be something with the washers, or it's just freaking bent somewhere. So I got to work a little bit early this morning, so we got some time to take this apart. All right, we're back together. Just adjusting the pivot here. Still off center. Why is that happening? I wonder if the blade is bent or something. Just looking down at it, I can't tell that if it's cocked out either way. Maybe a little bit, actually. It's hard to tell. But that's the only thing it could be now, It's nothing in the liner. It's not the washers. So it has to be something on the blade itself, in the tang in there. It's got to be. So, oh well, I learned to live with it. I've been living with it ever since I had the knife. It always kind of bothers me, but it's not the worst of things. Most of my Spydercos are at least a little bit off center. It just kind of seems to be one of the very few things about Spyderco that I don't like. They have so many other fantastic qualities that I pretty much just overlook it with Spyderco, because they're just fantastic in almost every other way. If it's a knife where, on a lot of knives, it would not be okay. But I feel like on a Spyderco, it's all right. Another quick thing to note, I think I mentioned it in the disassembly part of the video, but cranking down on this hardware right here that holds in this I guess you can call it a lock bar, kind of. If you crank down on those, it will affect the action. It'll be really stiff. When I first put it together, I really cranked on them, and the action was not smooth at all. And they're still tight. They're still quite tight, actually. But I cranked, and then I just backed off a very little bit. And look at that. Falls shut. Falls shut on washers. There's a little blade play if I really muscle it, but barely any. Which is fantastic. In fact, let me see if I can even get rid of it. That's no blade play. Ooh. Ooh, okay. No blade play, baby. Look at that. That is awesome. So, a little off center with amazing action, I can deal with it. A little bit of a rattly cage, ball cage, whatever. I really like the scales. Like I said initially, I wasn't expecting them to be this bright of a blue shade. But it's actually growing on me a little bit. I think it looks good. I don't own any blue knives, so that's kind of something different. These scales feel great in the hand. Possibly even a little bit better than the originals. I think the fact that it has a shit ton of jimping all the way around it, it helps your grip sliding around, but it doesn't help your grip like just gripping it in one place. It almost makes it a little bit sharp all around. I think having no jimping and just, nice chamfers all the way around the edges almost feels a little bit better in your hand. And this is a knife that it's not going to slip out of your hand. There's just no way. You're so locked in here, especially when you're choked up. It can't, even without the jimping. So really happy with these AWTs. Unfortunate that they didn't center up the knife as advertised, but I suspect it's something with the blade itself. It's got to be. That's it. Thanks for watching, folks. I love ya. See you next time.